Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jamie and today we're going to talk about my March faves and flops. If you're wondering who's on my shirt, it's David Bowie when he was in the Labyrinth, just so we can get that out of the way. But today we're going to talk about my March favorites and some fails. So just to clarify, whenever I consider a product a favorite, I want to fully stand behind that product. I have a few eyeshadow palettes in today's video, and when I consider an eyeshadow palette a favorite, it means I've tried all the shades and they all really work well because I want to make sure that when I recommend a product, it's something that I wholly stand behind. As far as the fails, they're also not something that I've tried once or twice and then completely dismissed. I've tried them multiple times in multiple conditions before I've really kind of crossed them off my list. So the first favorite that I want to talk about is the Sephora Collection eyeliner. This is in the shade Coconut number 54. It's just a basic nude eyeliner, but I find that this works so well. You can see from this swatch that it is so creamy, which I really like because I typically only wear pencil eyeliners in my waterline. I have a few other nude eyeliners, one from NYX, one from ColourPop. Where's that last one from? And another one from a brand that I can't remember, but I find that this one has the longest wear time and is the creamiest and stays the most pigmented. Sometimes I find that the eyeliner around my top lash line can transfer and then make this weird like gray color, but this one stays on all day through all conditions, and I really want to buy more in this formula. If you're looking for a nude eyeliner, I would recommend this, but since I haven't tried any other colors, I can't really say how they would work, but I do love this nude shade. A hair product that's become a favorite is this Trader Joe's hair mask. This is their shea butter and coconut oil hair mask, which claims to moisturize and revitalize dry, damaged hair. Deep conditioning for soft and silky hair, and it's vitamin E infused. If you have a Trader Joe's anywhere near you, I highly recommend looking into their skincare and like overall grooming section. They have a great toner. I have a friend that uses their tea tree wipes, and they have some really great products that I feel like nobody talks about. I have super dry hair, if you can't tell, and I like to make sure that I'm treating it in the best way possible. I don't use heat on my hair, and I try to only wash it 2 to 3 times a week and use it sparingly. But I find that when I wash it, I like to use this hair mask to get a good deep conditioning. I apply it from roots to tips and let it sit in for about 5 minutes, or I just play like 2 songs on my phone, whatever comes first. I can tell a visible difference from my hair, and I can feel how much silkier it is. This really helps keep moisture locked in my hair, and I can tell it when I'm styling my hair and immediately when I'm brushing it out of the shower. If you have dry hair and you're looking for a relatively affordable solution, check your local Trader Joe's. If you don't have a Trader Joe's near you, I'm sure that this product would be available on Amazon because I know other people have found their products on there as well. And the 2 eyeshadow palette favorites that I want to talk about for this month are the Sultry palette and the Riviera palette, and they're both from Anastasia Beverly Hills. I have done videos with both of these palettes on my channel, so if you haven't seen them, I'll have them linked in the cards and in the description box down below. The Sultry palette looks a little something like this. The only thing I don't like about this palette is the packaging. I know the glitter doesn't really get all over, but it does kind of get places, and it's like a weird scratching sound when you take it out of the unit carton, but I think I'm one of the only people that keeps palettes in the unit carton forever. If you haven't seen the inside of the palette, it looks a little something like this. It has these absolute beautiful metallics and a few staple mattes. It's a cooler tone palette, which I like because I do have a lot of warm tones, and this gives me something to experiment with. This black is the most pigmented black that I have in my Anastasia shadows. It's much more pigmented than Obsidian from Prism, and I absolutely love it. The shimmers here are just so versatile. I find that formula-wise, they're more similar to the shimmers from the Norvina palette as opposed to the shimmers in the Modern Renaissance. They have a bit more glitter in them, and they're chunky, but not in like a disturbing way. They just are super foiled, whereas I feel like the Modern Renaissance shimmers are a little bit more subtle. The same with the shimmers found in Prism and in Subculture. But if you've ever felt the shimmers in the Norvina palette, they're a little bit more thicker to the touch, and I feel like this is the same formula. I absolutely love this palette. I find that I can do a super neutral look if I just place this brown called Birch or this brown called Twig in the crease and one of these lighter shimmers on the lid, or you can amp it up with this beautiful gray color called Cyborg, and they have the black and the gray as well, and this dark brown called Dystopian. I find that this palette's super versatile, and if you need a cool tone palette or you want a cool tone palette, I highly recommend this. The palette also does come with a double-ended brush, and I have all of the Anastasia brushes from the palettes in my collection because I find that they're really good quality. The second Anastasia palette that's become a favorite is their newer Riviera palette. This is what it looks like in the unit carton. And this is the palette itself. I like that with both Sultry and Riviera, Anastasia has done away with that felt packaging because some of my palettes are so dirty. This is what the inside of the Riviera palette looks like. Right off the bat, if you're not someone that likes to experiment with colors, I would say reserve from this palette because although you have your neutral pink, that mustard, this brown, and like a gold and a bronze shimmer, most of the shades that I reach for are the colorful ones. So I feel like if you're not willing to play with color or don't enjoy playing with color, this wouldn't be the palette for you. These mattes are so beautiful. This is a pressed pigment in the shade Bahamas, a pressed pigment in the shade Cannes, and a pressed pigment in the shade Palms, just as a forewarning. I find that Bahamas doesn't really work with me as well. I have an issue when I use pinks because I have a pink undertone that sometimes it makes me look sick, but it's something I'm practicing and trying to get better with. I can use it sparingly, but this purple called Canes is one of my favorite colors in the palette. I absolutely love a beautiful rich purple, and it pairs so well with this blue called Seychelles and the shimmer called Mediterranean, which is one of my favorite shimmers. I find that the shimmers are a little less chunky than the ones in Sultry, but they're beautiful nonetheless. With both Sultry and Riviera, I don't have to wet my palette to apply the shimmers, and I use a finger to apply them because I just find that it works best, and then I finesse the edges with a brush. This palette is stunning, and I feel like it's such an asset. If you have some Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes, I feel like this complements them well because a lot of them are more neutral toned, and these shimmers will pair really well with a lot of the mattes, especially the ones in Subculture, Norvina, or Prism, because they have more colorful mattes as opposed to Modern Renaissance and Soft Glam, which are more on the neutral side. If you've been wanting to play with color, I do recommend this because it still has your neutral tones, so this could be a palette you could travel with. You could still make a beautiful look with this mustard, this brown, and this bronze shimmer, which I've used on a day-to-day basis, and then you can amp it up at night by putting this blue on the lower lash line or any of these shimmers on the lid. This palette has a typical Anastasia Beverly Hills formula, and once again, it does come with that double-ended brush. So those are all my favorites for the month, so let's hop right into the fails. The first fail is something that I'm disappointed to talk about because I was so excited about this product. This is the Rimmel Stay Matte Liquid Lip Color in the shade Blue Iris. It's a beautiful deep blue color, and I love vampy liquid lipsticks. I think there's such a time and a place for them, and they could really go with like a subtle eye, and a bold lip is such a statement. My friends and I went to this, it wasn't like a concert, it was like a DJ event where they played like punk rock, like emo music, and we all decided we're gonna go with bold lips. That was like the move for the night. So it was like perfect. Like I've never had the opportunity to wear my blue lipstick out. This is the great night. But I find that this color is so sheer upon initial application, I had to put on, not even kidding, like 4 coats. And when you put on 4 coats of liquid lipstick, it like balls up, and I find that it was just so uncomfortable. I'm really not a person that struggles with dry liquid lipsticks. I can even wear the ColourPop Ultra Mattes and the Anastasia ones, but this one was terrible. It was peeling off in balls, but I found that the color stayed, but it was so uncomfortable that I will never reach for this again. If I want a blue liquid lipstick, I'm probably gonna pick up one in the Sephora Cream Lip Stain formula because that's one of my favorite lipsticks. And I just wasn't a fan of this formula, so it made me even less inclined to gravitate towards this color. I would consider trying this in a nude shade because it's a blue and it's such a dark color. That's why the formula had issues. But I feel like you can really tell how good a formula is when you look at their darker shades, because that's a true test. Another product that I couldn't get to work for me was this NYX Tame and Frame eyebrow pomade. I went to Ulta a few months ago and I spoke to one of the employees there and was like, hey, I'm having a bunch of issues with my eyebrows. What products do you recommend? And she recommended this NYX brow gel in the shade Chocolate. You can see I've tried to get some use out of this, but I just couldn't get it to work for me. I find that it doesn't really pick up well on a brush, and it looks really greasy on my eyebrows. I was never able to get the proper pigmentation where it was light enough that it would match my natural hairs and yet dark enough that it would still fill in. I have found great success with the NYX Micro Brow Pencil, which is what I use on a daily basis to fill in my brows, but I think this experience might have turned me off of pomades for good. And the last fail that I want to talk about is this Maybelline Master Precise All Day Liquid Liner. I have mine in the shade Black, and I just got this week and I'm already super disappointed in it. I find that I have to press down really hard for this product to go over my lash line, and making a wing with this liner is nearly impossible because I find that it's dried out by the time I get to my outer corner. I would understand this not working if it was like a month or two old, but considering I bought it this week, this is just disappointing. I've mentioned in other videos, eyeliners is one of those products that I really struggle trying to find one that works for me. On the day that I'm filming this video, the Sephora 21 Days of Beauty sale is going on, and today was the Stila Stay All Day Liquid Liner sale. So I bought some of those because I find that truly they're one of the only pen liners that work for me. I will have a haul of some of the products that I bought from Ulta coming up at the end of the sale, but I'm so disappointed in this. Yes, it was relatively cheap, but I feel like I wasted my money because it's hardly working. Okay, that swatch looks really black, but I find that it doesn't apply the same over shadows. If I have a light shadow day, maybe, but if I want to pack on a metallic, forget it. I cannot wear this liner. It just doesn't work for me. I find that I have this issue with a lot of felt tip liners, so maybe if there's a brush tip, I'd have a better experience, but this eyeliner is just not cutting it for me and not something I'm going to reach for. I'll use it up while I have it, but I'm going to put it on my do not repurchase list. So those are my faves and flaps for the month of March. What products have you tried that you've been loving, and what products just haven't been working for you? I'd love if you let me know in the description box down below. If you like this video, I hope you'll consider subscribing and coming back to my channel for new videos, and I hope to see you back soon. Thanks for watching.